Imagine a little girl. She is 8 years old. She still sleeps with a stuffed toy. She still believes in fairy tales. She still needs help tying her shoes. And one day, she starts bleeding. Not from an injury, but from her first period. Her body has entered puberty years earlier than expected, and she doesn't understand what's happening. This is not rare anymore. According to a large study published in JAMA Network Open, led by researchers from Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, girls in the United States are starting their periods earlier than previous generations. And the change is not small. It is accelerating. And it is unequal. Today, we are going deep into the science, the causes, the risks, and what this means for families, doctors, and society. This is not just about puberty. This is about the future health of an entire generation. What is menarche, AND? Why does it matter so much? Let's start simple. Menarche is the first menstrual period. Most people treat it like just another milestone, like losing a baby tooth. But medically, it is one of the most powerful biological indicators of long-term health. Doctors call menstrual health a vital sign because the timing of the first period reflects hormone balance, brain development, nutritional status, stress exposure, environmental toxins, metabolic health. Historically, in the mid-1900s, the average age of first period in the U.S. stabilized around 12.5 years. For decades, it stayed there. But now, that stability is disappearing. The study that shocked researchers. The data comes from the Apple Women's Health Study, one of the largest menstrual health studies ever conducted in the United States. Institutions involved: Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences. Study details: 71,341 participants. Birth years: 1950-2005. Enrolled between 2018-2023. Self-reported age at first period, reported race, income level, and cycle regularity. This allowed researchers to compare generations, and here's what they found. Periods ARE starting earlier. Average age at first period, born 1950 to 1969 is 12.5 years. Born 2000 to 2005 is 11.9 years. That's more than half a year difference. You might think, that doesn't sound like much, but in biology, half a year is enormous. Even more concerning, early menarche before age 11. Older generation is 8.6%, younger generation is 15.5%. Very early before age 9. Older generation is 0.6%, younger generation is 1.4%. That is more than double. This is not random variation. This is a population-level biological shift. Generational comparison. Imagine a mother and daughter. The mother started at 13. The daughter starts at 9. 4 years difference. In one generation, something in the environment has changed. But there's a second problem: irregular cycles. Here's where it gets even more concerning. Not only are periods starting earlier, they are taking longer to become regular. Cycle regularity within 2 years. Older generation is 76%. Younger generation is 56%. That means nearly half of modern girls are still hormonally unstable 2 years after their first period. Irregular cycles are linked to polycystic ovary syndrome, infertility, endometrial hyperplasia, insulin resistance, future metabolic disease, earlier puberty plus delayed stability SECL hormonal stress. This is not equal. Disparities ARE growing. The study found stronger shifts among Black girls, Hispanic girls, Asian girls, mixed-race girls, lower-income families. This is not genetics. Genetic evolution does not happen in 30 years. This reflects environmental inequality, food insecurity, chemical exposure, chronic stress, structural racism. Menstrual timing is becoming a marker of social inequality. Why is this happening? There is no single cause. It's a combination of modern lifestyle changes. Let's break them down. First, childhood obesity. Body fat is hormonally active. Fat cells produce estrogen. Higher BME, higher estrogen, earlier puberty. According to CDC data, childhood obesity rates have dramatically increased since the 1980s, and obesity is more common in lower-income communities. But obesity alone does not explain everything. 2. Ultra-processed food and insulin resistance. High-sugar diets increase insulin. Insulin interacts with reproductive hormones. Insulin resistance is linked with earlier puberty and PCOS. Ultra-processed foods are now a major part of children's diets worldwide. 3. Endocrine-disrupting chemicals. This is one of the most important and under-discussed causes. Chemicals like phthalates, pesticides, industrial pollutants, air pollution. These chemicals mimic estrogen. They interfere with hormone signaling. Children today are exposed earlier, more frequently, for longer durations. Research from the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences has shown links between endocrine disruptors and altered pubertal timing. 4. Chronic stress. Stress activates the HPA axis, rothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. That system communicates with reproductive hormones. Chronic stress can accelerate puberty. Stress sources today: academic pressure, social media comparison, family financial stress, exposure to violence, community instability. Puberty is not just biological, it responds to environment. The brain-puberty connection. Puberty starts in the brain. Specifically, the hypothalamus releases GnRH, releasing hormone. That signals pituitary gland, ovaries, estrogen production. Environmental triggers can switch on this process earlier. Scientists believe modern life may be pushing this biological switch sooner than evolution intended. Long-term health risks. Early menarche is associated with breast cancer, endometrial cancer, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, obesity, depression, anxiety, risk-taking behaviors. Why? Because of longer lifetime exposure to estrogen, more cycles over a lifetime, sex, greater hormonal exposure. This is why public health experts are concerned. The psychological impact. Imagine being 9 years old. Your classmates look like children. You suddenly look older. You develop breasts. You get a period. You feel different. Early maturing girls often face bullying, sexualization, body image distress, social isolation, higher risk of depression. If support systems are weak, the damage is deeper. What parents should do. Conversations must start earlier, not at 12, not at 11, but before age 9. Parents should explain menstruation calmly, remove shame, monitor emotional changes, encourage healthy eating, reduce ultra-processed foods, limit plastic exposure when possible. Support physical activity. Silence increases fear. Preparation increases resilience. What clinicians should do. For healthcare providers, screen for early puberty, track cycle regularity, monitor BME, address psychosocial stress, consider environmental exposure history. Menstrual history should be treated like blood pressure. A vital sign. Policy implications. Despite affecting half the population, menstrual health is underfunded. Research gaps remain. Environmental regulation is weak. Public health campaigns are limited. If trends continue, disparities will widen. This is not just a medical issue, it is a societal issue. Important limitations are: the study relied on self-reported data. Recall bias is possible. Global generalizability is limited, but the sample size is large. And findings align with international research trends. Global trends are: studies in Europe, Asia, and Latin America also show declining age of menarche. This is not just American, it is global. Modernization appears linked to earlier puberty. What researchers are still trying to understand. Scientists are investigating gut microbiome influence, sleep disruption, light exposure at night, social media stress, urban pollution. Puberty is biologically sensitive to environment. We are only beginning to understand how modern life is reshaping it. This is not about kids growing up faster. It is about metabolic health, environmental safety, social inequality, women's health equity. Menstrual health reflects society's health. When periods shift earlier and become irregular, something in the environment has changed. Earlier periods are not just a personal issue. They are a public health signal, a warning, a call to pay attention. If we want healthier women in 2040, we must protect girls in 2026. If this video helped you understand the science behind early puberty, subscribe for evidence-based health content. Share this with parents, teachers, and healthcare professionals, because menstrual health is public health, and silence is no longer an option.